It's the Billy Revolution. It's up to you. Billy Revolution is what you gotta do. The Billy Revolution, a quadrilateral grow under your chin, not in the center though, 'cause it's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution. Billy Revolution. Billy Revolution. It is season 7 already, episode 1, and today we're talking about the loss of rumination. And the loss of rumination has to do with the way that the screen and our constant connectivity to information, be it opinion or fact, makes us lose that time of rumination. And it's not that people aren't ruminating. People are certainly ruminating, and people who are making it a point to ruminate are certainly ruminating, and they're thinking about all sorts of things about modern day world. They're thinking about climate change. They're thinking about political systems. There is no shortage of people writing and speaking about things that are important. So we haven't lost the ability to ruminate. What we're losing is the habit of ruminating. And what that means is that we don't take the same time that we once did when books were our main source of gathering information, or before that, other people were our main source of gathering information, or experience our main place of gathering information. And we have this device that allows us entry into immediate information. And there's so many things that are problematic with that. But I think one of the first ones that strikes me as being really important to ruminate on is the fact that we no longer take that time. So rather than giving thought, rather than getting ideas and mulling them over, the natural inclination when you have a screen in your pocket is to take a look at it, look it up, find out something about it. And I think that just the same way that people have lamented the loss of imagination in children with the television world, and then, later on screens, the loss of rumination is really important, because I think that rumination and the ability to do that, the ability to think over something and form ideas about it and form counter arguments about it, I think that practice of that gives one agency. And I think agency is probably one of the things that impedes the corporations from making the money from you that they wish to make from you. And it's not because there is some great movement out to take away your agency. It's just that if profit is the driver, and we allow profit to be the driver, and we allow a capitalist system unfettered in so many ways in terms of the way that big business reaches us, I think it's not surprising that we lose agency, and that we lose a desire for agency. And we lose a desire to ruminate and be our own creators of meaning. And when we give that up, I think we give up a lot of the things that give people joy. And I think that it's not necessarily an intellectual pursuit. The ideas could be very, very superficial and simplistic. And there's still a joy in that journey that is harder to have now, that you have this tempting little thing that will shortcut all that and you'll get to an answer. So I think the loss of rumination really comes about a focus on getting somewhere rather than the journey itself. And the journey itself at one time was that kind of thinking that you would do, that kind of looking you would do, the in depth you would look into something and think about something that now you just click on. Even imaginative flights are less. So this week, I'm hoping that you have a chance to think about that and think about the way your thinking has changed since you succumbed to the cell phone, succumbed to having your world enshrouded in screens. And it wasn't that long ago that you didn't have that too. And those of us old enough can remember a world where rumination was one of the joys we had, one of the things that gave us agency, individuality, and a sense of power. I hope everybody has a great week. Next week we are going to take a really positive spin and look at the 10 things we could be doing instead of wasting our time on the screen. Thank you so much for listening to Billy Revolution. 2020 is the year where all screens will be thrown away, and that just the idea of that metamorphosis, that enlightenment, that epiphany just around the corner next October is very, very comforting to me. Thank you. Have a great day.
Quite like you drove your car, baby. I brought my bike. You know that it is such a funny game when we pretend we're just the same.
Matilda and David were having a conversation with Joni about the way that politics is being practiced these days in Europe and North America, and some of the trends. And Joyce asked Matilda what she thought, and she gave some very interesting ideas about the way it affects the individual and the way it affects communities and the way it affects whole nations. And she asked David what he thought, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi's down." They're doing the same thing.
It's the Billy Revolution. It's up to you. Billy Revolution is what you gotta do. The Billy Revolution, a quadrilateral grow under your chin, not in the center though, 'cause it's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution. Billy